So, basically, man, I just wanted to know, what is your view? Have you heard about veganism before, and what is your views on eating animals?
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with what it is, you know. I've seen, I watch Ed the Earthling.
Yeah, Earthling Ed, yeah, man. I was marching with him a couple of weeks ago in London. The Animal Rights March, it was awesome.
I've seen like him go up against fuckers like Infowars. I saw Infowars trying to get him, and Infowars are like, you know, they're virtuosos when it comes to spinning things and putting people in the hot seat. And he just picked them apart. Like.
Yeah. He's an ethical vegan. Same here in terms of right versus wrong. There's the environmental aspect of it. It's so bad for the planet, animal agriculture, and there's the health aspect of it. Eating animal products is linked to like our top 10 major diseases. Yeah. But for me, it's about if I can live eating like plant-based foods and not cause suffering to animals. Morally, then, aren't we obligated to sort of do that? What do you think about that?
No, I hear you. I mean, for me, like, it's just one of those things. Like, I know it's bad, I know it's wrong. You know, we're killing these guys, but I just I love it. You know, it's like I know it's wrong. It's like fucking. I'm not. I was trying not to swear, but
don't worry about it. I don't know if YouTube has a censorship rating.
I think it's okay. Yeah. But I just didn't know if your audience like family friendly or not.
Nah, I mean, it's all good.
It is wrong, like.
I would actually say on that swearing is sort of one of those cultural things, as is eating animals. And I actually didn't stop because I didn't like, because I suddenly didn't like the taste of it. Like, I love the taste of it, man. I used to go to Subway and all I would get was chicken and bacon in the bread. KFC, and I'd get like the burger with the 3-piece and the chicken gravy and dunk it, and I go to McDonald's and get like 20 nugget box, man. I fucking love the taste of it.
I know you'll get some vegans who are like, who say it's not nice, like meat, like it doesn't taste nice. You can't argue it doesn't taste nice.
Unless they're from, I know what you mean. They maybe haven't tasted good meat before or whatever. But so yeah, I sort of
keep this.
Yeah.
Keep this. Let me paint the scenario.
Yeah.
If the case were that these animals were being farmed specifically to be killed, so if it weren't for human consumption, they would not exist. So like, you know, you breed like cows, so they're getting, if we don't eat them, they're getting no life whatsoever.
Yeah.
But since we're eating them, we're bringing them in, we're giving them some life.
I agree. I see what you're saying.
Would you be okay with that, with eating meat under that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a common sort of idea that arises in these conversations, and the thing is, me personally, I would rather not be brought into the world if my sole purpose was to be have my throat slit and be cut up and have my body consumed. But the thing is, and it's okay if you disagree with that, and it's okay if you think that. You know, they're brought into this life for that purpose, that justifies killing their life. But what I would put to you then is, what about those people who breed dogs for the sole purpose of dog fighting? They would argue we give those dogs a purpose in life. Do you think that justifies, you know, turning gentle creatures, dogs, into like killing machines? Do you think just because they decide, well, I'm gonna decide what their purpose in life is, and I'm gonna pit them against each other or tear each other apart, therefore that justifies? What do you think?
Thing of me, like I'm a nihilist through and through. I don't believe in purpose. I don't believe in purpose.
Okay.
So my thing
that's interesting.
And I admit, you know, my ethics are very loose because. I'm very pessimistic towards.
I think with nihilism, ethics kind of is very loose.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe in objective morality. You know, Friedrich Nietzsche complex.
Yeah, I get you. So say if I had say it wasn't even a farm animal. Say if I had a dog here in front of me, and I started punching it and kicking it, and like your ethics, your moral compass being.
I would stop you from doing that. Yeah.
Why?
That's the thing. I have no idea.
Because
this thing, like, because another thing is, I also don't believe in free will, so I don't know why I do things. I don't know why I like the taste of this. I don't know, you know, my decision to go and buy this morning.
You think everything's predetermined?
Yeah, Alan Watts said, you know.
I love Alan Watts.
I love Alan Watts. He says thoughts, they pop up like hiccups. Everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going off in a bit. I don't want to go.
Yeah. Let's try and keep it back to.
But my point is. I don't know why I do things. Ergo, I don't really believe. Well, no, I'm just that. I'm just saying I don't believe in objective morality,
Yeah.
but I would still.
But
stop
then
picking
with
that
yeah,
I don't know why.
So
I'm not making a conscious decision in my mind. I just.
yeah, see, the way I interpret what you're saying is, we see when we're born a completely blank slate. We don't have beliefs. Somewhere along the line, we get beliefs programmed into us,
Yeah.
such as nihilism or such as predeterminism or any belief. It's a belief. But one thing I would argue that we are innately born with is like a compassionate nature. So, say for example, even though you have like nihilistic beliefs,
Yeah.
they're somewhat. Would you agree that they're somewhat in contradiction? Because in the circumstance of the dog where I'd be beating it, because if you truly believe that there is no morality and every nihilism essentially is nothing, has a purpose, what would be the point in intervening in the dog? You know, there's a confliction in what you would do there and in your beliefs.
So there must be morality, but it's just embedded within us.
Yeah, like I mean, I've heard the argument that morality is subjective.
Yeah.
But if you stood up in a court of law and you said, you know, I killed this person, and morality, and I just thought that morality was subjective. Like, you know, it doesn't.
It's not gonna fly.
It's not going to fly. So innately, society, we do value some sort of morality. We have to draw a line where some things are right, some things are wrong.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you have to have morality
To live in this society, you
yeah,
know?
but I think you can still have it and concede that it is an illusion.
I somewhat agree with you there. But to bring it back to animals and stuff, causing unnecessary harm to animals, can that be justified if there's no justifiable reason? I.e., we live in times now where there's like vegan athletes. I've been vegan for like 2 years. I met a vegan before who he's been vegan 50 years.
Yeah.
So we know that we can live solely off like plant-based food.
Yeah.
Therefore, to cause suffering to animals, i.e. getting their throat slit, being bred into, you know, it's immoral by the fact that we don't need to cause suffering anymore because we can just eat plants. How do we justify that?
Yeah, how do we justify that? I don't think there is any real justification.
Yeah, I've yet to hear one.
But again,
and I appreciate your honesty.
But again, okay. Do you think plants are conscious?
I think plants are alive and they react to external stimulus in their environment, but I don't think they're conscious because the science says that they don't have brains, they don't have nervous systems, and they don't have pain receptors. For example, the Venus flytrap, do you know it?
Yeah,
so
not much about it.
It's a plant that it's open, like an open palm.
Snaps
when something lands on its receptors, it has these little follicles. So when a fly lands on a Venus flytrap, it closes. That's it reacting to the external stimulus in the environment. But if you put a cigarette butt in a Venus flytrap, it also closes.
Yeah.
So it's not making a conscious decision.
Oh.
It's just reacting to external stimulus in the environment.
But I would argue that.
Even if you take it from an evolutionary point of view, animals, me and you, we have evolved movement, we've evolved sentience, self-awareness, like our cats and dogs. If I was to hold your hand over a lit flame, you'd pull it back because you're conscious and you have pain receptors. If you were to do that to a pet dog, they would do that too. If you were to do that to a cactus, nothing would happen because they haven't evolved to have any defense mechanisms from pain. Because you ever hear when people are in like terminal stages in hospitals and people say they're like a vegetable?
Yeah.
The lights are on but no one's home. Like, because they can't feel pain. They're alive but they can't feel pain. So I would, but if you want to go down the road of like, what about plants? Like, because obviously vegans eat plants.
Yeah.
When we pay for animal products, we have to remember that the animals that we're eating eat a shitload of plants before they get to our plate.
Yeah.
So actually vegans consume about 6 to 12 times less amount of plants than like people who would eat meat, because the meat that people eat were once living animals who had a shitload of plants before they ended up dead. So you're killing less plants by being vegan. And also, I mean, society, you look at like house fires. When the fire service come to rescue people in house fires, they go in and get the women and kids or whatever first. Then sometimes they might go in and get the house cat or something, but no one ever goes back in for the cactus. You know, so we clearly acknowledge that plants aren't sentient individuals. You know.
Yeah.
So to sort of come 360 with that, I mean, do you think that like slicing the throat of a chicken is the same as like cutting a carrot in half? You know?
No, definitely not. But do you think that slicing the throat of a chicken is the same as slicing the throat of a human?
No, I don't, and you don't actually like to be vegan and to agree with veganism. You don't have to equate those two things
I
to be the same. You just have to have to see that if it's unnecessary to cause suffering to animals, which veganism clearly exhibits that it's unnecessary, then morally, how can we justify causing harm to those animals?
Morally,
like I like to think about it from the victim's perspective. So we're thinking about it from the human. Yeah, let's say if you were that chicken and your throat was going to be slit.
Facts.
You know, you would not want it to happen to you because you value your life.
Yeah.
And you know, chickens, all animals have the innate desire to preserve their own life. You know, self-preservation is the strongest instinct we have. In a life and death situation, we all have that instinct to live, to survive. And I've seen recently, I watched a documentary, a 2-hour-long documentary. It was just out this year called Dominion, and it's all about all the farmed animals and all the ways that they're mutilated and tortured and slaughtered.
Yeah.
It goes through the artificial insemination. You know, they're forced pregnancies on these animals, forced into this existence. They're slaves, man. They're not free because in the end they all get their throats slit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think that you could be vegan? Or do you agree that that's okay, what happens to these animals?
None of the above.
You don't agree?
I admit that it's wrong. This thing, I admit that it's wrong.
Yeah.
But
why do you think it's wrong?
Again, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it's cultural reasons or if it's embedded within me by my genetic makeup. I don't really know.
Do you think it's something to do with because animals are innocent and it's a violent thing that happens to them? And if we can exercise a little empathy and we say, well, if someone was to slice my throat open for something as trivial as a taste pleasure, I would agree that if that were to happen to me, that would be wrong. Therefore, I can clearly see if that was to happen to someone else, that would be wrong.
But then again, okay.
Like, because you said in your own words, like, you think it's wrong.
But then you fall into the problem of infinite regression, because then I can say, well, why do you think that is wrong? I can just keep asking you, why do you think that's wrong? Why do you think that's wrong? And it keeps just going back and going back.
Well, I can answer that. I mean, the reason I think it's wrong is because animals are conscious and they feel pain, and like they don't deserve to have their throat sliced open.
So that's.
I mean,
that's the premise that you're stating.
See, the thing is, my argument would be totally invalid if we needed to do this to them.
Yeah.
But we have actually no need, like scientifically. Yeah, other than selfish pleasure. Like, but the thing is, like, you can veganize any meal. You know, there's vegan versions of everything. You go on YouTube.
Mung beans. I've had mung beans and.
Well, they're like, man, I love chickpeas. Like, you can like do a lot of things with chickpeas and anything. But you can get like vegan bacon.
Yeah, I've had
vegan
like
chicken burgers. Yeah.
Sally
Linda McCartney.
Linda McCartney. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why she popped in there.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Like so. But no, I had the sauce.
And just like
a bit more expensive though. A bit more expensive.
We'll see now because veganism is becoming mainstream. The prices are going down. But you were saying there about certain things that are vegan that don't taste nice. Like, we can both agree that we've tried things that made from animal products that don't always taste great. Like, you bite into, you have some bad kebabs in your day, no doubt.
But I'm saying,
you know what
generally,
I mean?
the spectrum of meat that is tasty is like 100 times that of.
And have you like tried eating a lot of vegan food? Like, honestly?
Well,
because I'm just saying you might be basing some of your thing on assumption rather than.
But I'm saying plants in general.
Like, put it like this.
Are bland.
Yeah, but even like the animal flesh that we consume, they're seasoned with spices and herbs and salts to make them taste good. They don't, like, raw flesh doesn't taste good. Raw flesh.
The texture.
Yeah. Okay. But does texture justify slicing someone's throat open?
I'm not. Again, I'm agreeing with you that it is no more wrong It is wrong to kill an animal.
Yeah.
In the same way as it is wrong to kill a human, not to the extent, but in the same way. But my only argument is that generally the meat diet is much more appealing.
Okay, so put it like this: I've been vegan nearly 3 years. I don't think I could last as a vegan nearly 3 years if I was eating like mediocre tasting food. So I mean, I still eat tasty food. I eat delicious food.
Give a few examples.
I mean, like Linda McCartney's sausages with beans and potatoes. You can get. I used to have scrambled eggs for breakfast every day, and I fucking loved them. And you can make scrambled tofu. You can make tofu taste like fried chicken.
I had tofu with crackers. It's slimy. There's no taste.
Man, you're not like whoever cooked that for you is inexperienced. Like it takes a while to get the hang of it. That's the thing. Like there is a bit of a learning curve because you're trying all these new foods that you haven't tried before. But for me, that learning curve is worth it because it's like I'll go through a little learning if it means saving a lot of animals' lives for the rest of my life. So put it like this: you pretty much agree with me that it's wrong and that there's no justification.
In the same way as it's wrong to kill a human, but not to the same extent. Yes.
Yeah. Because killing someone or causing harm when you don't have to,
well, actually,
by default is unnecessary and wrong.
Again, it links back to why is it wrong? You know,
it's wrong because if we put ourselves in the victim's position and think if that was us, we wouldn't want it to happen to us.
Well, why does that make it wrong though? Do you know what I mean?
Because there's pain involved, because they feel pain, they suffer, they value their lives. Put it like this: do you think it's wrong to inflict pain and suffering on someone who wishes to avoid pain and suffering? What if it was you? What if it right? Put it like this: what if it was you, right? And I came here today, and I just started attacking you, and I floored you, and I started punching you in the face and kicking your teeth out, and slamming your head into the concrete. Like that's wrong because you didn't do anything wrong. You're the victim. You're getting pain inflicted on you. It would traumatize you. You know, it would affect you, and you also have a preference to avoid that and to live a life free from those things. So you can agree that's wrong. So that's why it's wrong, because it's totally unnecessary for me to do that. There's nothing, like when I say necessity, I'm talking about like, do you need to do that to live?
To survive.
I don't need to do that to live my life. We don't need to slice animals' throats open to stay alive. Like I'm living proof of that. I'm nearly 3 years vegan, and I'm fucking feeling healthier and happier than I've ever.
Do you have more energy?
Honestly, man,
really?
I sleep better, my skin's better, I can run faster, like.
Because like I do have low energy, like.
Yeah, man. Put it like this:
like a ghost,
you're putting suffering into your body. Like that's low vibration. That's heavy shit you're putting in. Like those animals, you know what I mean? Like my body used to be a graveyard. But now it's a garden of plant life.
Nah, I like that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that, yeah.
But
I think
just mic 1 sec.
Yeah, I've fallen victim to it's tastier, it's easier to access, and it's you know whatever. But
so
again, it's the question of objective morality. Like I just don't understand. Like I don't want to keep, you know, we're sort of flogging a dead horse, but you know, you like that one. You like that one.
That's another example of how we're sort of.
He's not flogging the horse, just me. No, I just to surmise, it is wrong.
Yeah.
In a sense, but again, I'm getting the objective morality. I do not believe in objective morality.
So if do you have do you have a brother or a sister or anything?
2 brothers and a sister. Yeah.
Right. So objective morality, what's your definition of that? Of saying that there are some things that are wrong and there's some things that are right. You don't believe in that?
Because who's to say? Who's to say what's wrong and right?
Just so we can clarify, you don't believe in that?
I don't think there's any like equation in the stars. I don't think there's anything in
our own being, like in our own moral compass
embedded within us,
because we've kind of went around in a circle a little bit. Like you'd already said, and that's okay, but you'd already said that, and then I'll give you another example. You have a brother or a sister, say someone was to kill them today, like violently kill them, would you seriously say that, well, morally that doesn't faze me because I don't believe in moral objectivity, or would you feel like there was a wrong that was committed there?
I don't think I would say it would faze me morally. It would faze me on a selfish level, because it means
on an emotional level.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be
why?
able to spend time with my sibling that I love and cherish.
Yeah, but that is, I mean, undoubtedly connected to a sense of right and wrong. Like, but are you trying to say that you wouldn't feel that there was a wrong committed if someone killed your sister?
Again,
objectively, would you feel like someone did something wrong?
How could I say there's an objective wrong? Who am I to say that there's an objective wrong?
So you don't have any feeling inside you if someone was to stab your sister to death in the street, you wouldn't have any feeling inside you that there was a wrong done there?
I would feel like it was wrong, but I couldn't say that.
There you go.
Subjective. I couldn't say.
Yeah, but you feel it. So you admit to having a feeling for a sense of wrong. Which,
subjective wrong, yeah.
Yeah, but it's in your you can feel the difference between wrong and right then.
But I also concede that I can't really impose my subjective morality on other people.
No one's asking you to do that. Yeah.
For any reasons that are not selfish. Because if I'm saying, right, this is my subjective morality, and I'm trying to put that on other people, then that means that I'm being a little bit selfish. Because do you mean like my way of looking at the world and make everyone else live?
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying there. The only thing that I can say to that is, like, when it comes to, like, so some people could say about vegans that they're trying to tell other people how to live their life and stuff.
Yeah.
But yet we all say that you can do whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody,
libertarian principle.
Yeah, but the thing is, when we pay for animal products to be consumed, there's a victim involved, and so it's not so much that vegans are saying you got to do this because of what we're saying. Like, consider that your choices have a consequence, which involves someone losing their life for, like, a sandwich.
Oh yeah, I definitely do believe in actions and consequences, but to say that it's like objective morality is just where I draw the line, But yeah, actions and consequences, of course. I mean, that's obvious,
So,
get this guy's opinion.
One sec. We'll talk to you after. So pretty much, you yourself said that it can't be justified, and you don't agree with it. Then why do you pay for it to happen? When you could Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, so pleasure.
Pleasure, yeah.
So do you think
selfish pleasure, yeah.
Keep with me here. I'll give you an example that may sound extreme on the surface, but in principle is identical to your justification.
Go ahead.
So the reason that a rapist rapes someone is because they get pleasure out of it.
Yeah.
Even though there's a victim involved, even though they know morally that's wrong. You're saying that in principle you value pleasure over the suffering of a victim involved, regardless of you disagreeing with that's right or wrong. You still say that it's wrong, and you acknowledge that it's a victim involved.
In that scenario, yes, but obviously that's a much.
So would you say, the example, don't keep up with the principle regardless of the details of the example?
Yeah. But,
so you would agree hear me out. You would agree that it's not a justification for a rapist to rape someone and say it's okay because I get pleasure out of it.
No, that would be.
You wouldn't agree with that?
Because
and do you see the parallel in saying that I want to eat meat and it's okay because I get pleasure out of it?
Yeah, I see the parallel.
You see, like, the sort of contradiction there?
No, because again, it's like an extreme example. Because in the rape scenario, like I'm not killing the animal. Whereas,
when we pay for animals on our plate, we are paying for. We're directly paying for their throats to be slitted. It's an industry based on supply and demand.
Yeah, you're encouraging the act. Yeah.
Yeah, you're funding it.
So it'll be like me sourcing a rapist, like me. Like hiring a rapist on my behalf. Yeah, because I'm not actually killing the animal in the same way.
But do you acknowledge that you're paying for it to happen? Like, you're funding the slaughter of animals by saying, when you go into a shop, here's my money, I'm going to buy this chicken flesh. Therefore, I've supplied you the money, which equals that I demand that you keep this industry in place. So they have to breed more animals into existence. So they have to have people in slaughterhouses to kill them to supply it back on the same shelf that you got it from. So you vote with your money for that to happen. Do you understand the connection between you banned for it, you paying for it, and that leading to an animal's throat being slit?
Yeah.
So, and like, I just would like to say that, like, you know, at one point I had never thought about any of this, and I used to eat chicken like all the time. But then I heard things like this. I acknowledged there was a victim involved, and it made me reevaluate like my stance on it. And I thought, well, I really like the taste of chicken, but I don't like it that much that I think taste is worth more than their life. I don't like taste to the point where I will hold it higher than an innocent victim having their throat sliced open. And then from that point on, I researched veganism, looked into how I could cook up some meals, and seen that it was nutritionally adequate, seen that it was better for the environment, and now like my meals don't involve like suffering 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So do you think like with that sort of, do you think like you'd be ever interested in giving it a go to try like a lifestyle where you're not?
I did give it a go. I gave it a go. I had the mung beans and I had.
Were you just doing it by yourself?
Yeah, just by myself. Yeah.
There's a thing called Challenge 22 where you get like I got a card. I can give you it after. It's free. You get a registered. Yeah.
I'll do it for 22 days.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Man, respect. You get a register. You get a dietitian, a nutritionist, and someone on Facebook Messenger to tell you like how to veganize things that you like and where to shop to get vegan versions. So will you try that out for 22 days?
I'll do that. Yeah.
Man, that has made my day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
It's been a great interview.
No, I'm glad you stopped me. You know, because I wouldn't have thought about doing it unless you said, but it'll be a good thing.
And that's all I ask people to try it, because I find that people are really quick to assume on the food and the difficulty.
Yeah.
But we have to acknowledge that it's an assumption. But for you, like willing to try it, you'll have evidence to back up your claim whether or not it's easy or difficult.
Yeah, because it's not really. You're right. Like it's not for me to say whether it's easy or difficult if I haven't done the 22 challenge.
It's just an assumption.
I'll do the 22 challenge. I'll see how I feel. I'm not guaranteeing that I'll stick with it.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I'll definitely give it a whirl. 100%.
Thank you so
I will
much,
do
man.
it.
Cheers. That was awesome, man. That was good. That was a solid like half-hour interview.
Yeah.
Give me
the
what the. It's called Thomas Anonymous.
Thomas Anonymous.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I'll give you a card.
Yeah. Good luck.